Sourdough pumpernickel. Do I have to say anything else? Let's get to it. 360 grams of water, 350 grams of bread flour, and 150 grams of rye flour. This goes on the mixer, and we just mix it until it comes together. This is another one of those autolyse things where you let it sit just so that for 20 minutes or so, or up to 3 hours, where the flour can absorb the water. The dough for the pumpernickel has done its 20-minute autolyse, and now we add a couple more ingredients. First of all, ripe starter. Ooh, that smells so good. 100 grams. 8 grams of cocoa. 60 grams of molasses. 10 grams of salt. And 80 grams of wheat berries soaked in water for a couple hours. Now this goes on the mixer. And this is going to mix for, quite a long time, maybe 10, 15 minutes or so. You want it to, of course, incorporate everything, but you also want it to come together. So 10, 15 minutes until it's ready. All right, the pumpernickel dough has been mixing for about 15, 20 minutes. I don't really care how long. All I want is for it to come together. And so come together, what I mean is, to take a look, the sides, they're all pretty much cleaned off. Because there's rye in there, it's not going to come, probably not going to come off the bottom of it while it's mixing, but you can also maybe scrape down the sides in the beginning to make it go a little quicker. But I almost like thinking I'm going to dare you not to come together, which is sort of fun. But anyway, so this goes into a container, sits on the counter for about 2 hours, and then it goes in the fridge. You know me, 3 days is great. 1 day is good. 2 days is good. 3 days is great, and then we'll do some more. The pumpernickel dough has been in the fridge for 3 days. It's plumped up nicely here, so it's risen a little bit, and there's some bubbles in here. So before I forget it, I'm using this pan here. I love this pan because it gives nice smaller size slices. But before I forget it, I'm going to put some spray oil in there, because if you don't do this, forget about getting it out of there. I'm going to take it out of the container, and I'm going to use the bench scraper to sort of get it into a shape that will fit in there. I'm still going to have to probably pat it out a little bit, but I like doing this. Now it goes in the container, stretch it out a little bit. Now I'm going to let this sit out on the counter, probably spray it with some water, but let it sit out on the counter for about an hour, hour and a half, and then I'll bake it. I'm going to start the oven at 500 degrees. Immediately after I put it in, set it down to 400, and who knows how long it's going to take, for 45 minutes, 50 minutes. It's going to just have to be in there in the oven until it's about 200 degrees on the inside. Sourdough pumpernickel was in the oven, turns out, for 42 minutes, and how did I know? Because I had a thermometer, and I waited till it was about 200 degrees, and you'll see I put some what the heck are those things called? Some pumpkin seeds on top, and to make them look a little pretty. And so anyway, so the first thing, of course, I'm going to make with the sourdough pumpernickel is pumpernickel grilled cheese. So I have butter here. I nuked it a little bit too long, so it got all liquid. And so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to brush it onto the tops and the bottoms. And I got to say, my favorite melty cheese these days is Havarti. I don't know, I just really like it. So that goes in there. And of course, some pickled jalapeno. And now, this goes on the George Foreman. Ooh, nice and crackly. That was a couple minutes, and oh boy, look how the cheese is all gooey and melty. The bread is all crisped up. Oh my God, this is hot. Oh my God. The pumpernickel. The cheese, all melty, gooey. The pickled jalapenos. Yum.